Are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that then. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live, all 3 speakers go.
And what is up, everybody? Michael Buckcountry here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the new blog section and, of course, the merchandise section as well. We have hoodies, t-shirts, and beanies over there. And, of course, got the dad hats as well. Let's welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself to the show, Brandon Combs. What's going on, Brandon?
Louisville, Big X Radio, what is going on? Man Hour Nation, rise up, baby. Let's
Brandon,
go.
It is a great day, a great Saturday morning. I'm still cold. It's like 5 degrees outside right now, and it is stupid cold. But I did see next week, man, here in Louisville, Kentucky, 55 degrees and sunny, man.
Yeah, man.
Heat wave.
The weather is going to get better. There's nothing more we can do. People are all, somebody asked me today, they said, did we ask the groundhog, did we ask him about if the warm weather was coming? I was like, man, the only thing about the groundhog is he came out and he didn't see a shadow, so everybody's like, oh my God, we're going to get early spring. I'm like, no, Karen. He didn't see a shadow because it was cloudy and snowy when he came out of his hole.
Right. As you get older, there are several things that I really don't care about anymore, and one of them is Groundhog Day. Like I could care less about Groundhog Day. 100%.
I always root for the groundhog to bite whoever's grabbing him out of the hole.
Right. Like just like let me sleep. Speaking of sleep, Wyatt, how does it feel to be up at this early in the morning, man?
It is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
It's the earliest I've been up in years.
You were up this early last week, so.
Just kidding.
No, he's not. Wyatt sleeps till 2 o'clock damn near every day. Let's be honest, guys.
Until his maids wake him up and tell them that they're done cleaning his room, Wyatt is sleeping.
Yeah, so.
No.
It takes a lot of money to have maids, and baseball is by far one of the richest sports that I have seen. I think, ever. So, Combs, what has happened in baseball?
Look, so Fernando Tatis, man, he got that deal from the Padres, and to be honest with you, I think it was a steal for the Padres. I think the 14 years, $340 million. I think he could have got more. I think he's worth more money than that. I think he is worth more than Mookie Betts is. I think he is not as maybe not as much as a Mike Trout, but he's definitely more than Mookie Betts. I'm glad that he got more than Bryce Harper because, man, that contract is garbage. But I like, Fernando Tatis. I love the kid. I love watching the kid play. He definitely deserved the contract he got. Did you hear the story about this, though? So when he was in the minor leagues, he signed a deal. There is a company out there. I can't remember the name of the company. But they go around to minor leaguers and they say, hey, look, if you give us, we'll give you $50,000 if you give us 1% of your major league earnings throughout your career, or we'll give you $150,000 for 5% or $250,000 for 10%. So they didn't say how much he signed. But if you go by the most, so if he signed for $250,000, that company stands to make $34 million off of this deal.
So basically just him loading them money while they're in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
Basically banking on their future.
Yeah, but it's actually a good deal for the kids who know that they're never going to make it. Because, I mean, some of these kids get to the minors and they know they're going to be career minor leaguers. If you go out and say, hey, look, I've got 6 or 7 years into the minors. I'm probably not going to make the majors. Here, I'll give you, give me the $250,000, and I'll give you 10% of what I make in the majors. And if it's nothing, then I don't owe you nothing.
Well, as a smart businessman, I would not be going after those career minor leaders. I'll be looking at those Flad junior guys, and like
I'm
those,
sure
like
they
those guys.
do.
Right.
I'm sure they do. But I just think, I mean, I kind of think, I feel like that's kind of a predatory business, if you will, because you're when you're 18, 19 years old, somebody's offering you $250,000. Like, hell yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean? And then and then you make the majors, and somebody's like, hey, I'll give you $340 million. You're like, damn. And then you realize, oh shit, now I owe these guys $334 million. So,
Right. Yes. So let's go ahead and circle back to that contract. $340 million for 14 years. I mean, people get wrapped up on the $340 million mark, right? Harper got 330, and then there's somebody else.
Harper
that
got-
I mean,
Yeah.
for his production too. I mean, that's just but garbage.
Harper's production, he's worth like I would say less than 100 million.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, like people get wrapped up in this large amount of like numbers, but then you divide that by 14, 13 years. I mean, in hindsight, it's really not that much money. I mean,
He's
if you would probably
$24.2 million a year is what he's making. Well,
Yeah, I mean-
24.3.
and like in hindsight yes, I know, guys, $24 million is a lot of money to you and me and the people who, out there,
Right,
and like,
But to your sports stars, that's really, I mean,
yeah,
that's your base,
Especially in
sports
baseball.
star average,
Right.
especially for baseball.
yeah. I mean, like if you look at the major league, or if you look at the NFL, Dak Prescott right now is gearing up to make $40 million a season. So he's doubling doubling the amount of money for 16 games versus 162 2 games. I mean,
and I get it, man. Like you said, for the listeners out there, like, oh my God, listen to these guys say $24.2 million isn't that much money for these guys, blah, blah, blah. I'm so heartbroken, blah, blah, blah. Look, it is, when you think about it like this, the players are actually worth more than what they get paid.
100%.
The owners make the majority of the money, just like in a regular business. So you look
the owners
at
make
it from
all the
your
money.
business side. But each team makes roughly about three. I think it was something like $3 billion a year. Is what their revenue is, and that's a base for all the league around. So $3 billion, and the highest paid salary is 200 and something million.
See, if I was a baseball player,
difference.
Yeah, see, if I was a baseball player, I would be smart about it. I would be like, hey, instead of $340 million, how about you give me 300 and I collect all my jersey sales money? Or like I collect a percentage of what I sell jersey wise and
owners
autograph
would never
wise.
do that, and that's why they have a players union and all that type of stuff. But the players, people that complain about how much money these players make, you basically look at it like this: these guys generate all of that $3 billion, because I'm telling you right now, I've gone to plenty of baseball games. I've never once gone to a baseball game and said, man, I hope the owner or the GM are here.
right.
I've never gone out to buy a jersey and grabbed a jersey of the owner or the GM.
Jerry Jones jersey.
They generate 100% of this revenue, the players do, because we go to the stadiums to watch the players. If I buy a hot dog, I'm buying the hot dog because I'm there to watch the player and I'm hungry. Like, if I'm buying a shirt, it's because I'm there, I like the player, I like the team, and I'm buying a shirt. So these guys are generating all of your revenue, and they're making, less than 20% of the money back in that. And that's not the way the normal world works. If we go to a job, like I go to a job, I produce, a lot more money than what I make, obviously, but that's part of not owning the business that I work for. But it's also not where your payroll is less than, 15 or 20% of your income,
Right.
because that just doesn't happen. You wouldn't be able to run a business that way. However, baseball with the unions and stuff like that, they found a way to keep it to where, they're making a lot of money and they're happy, but the owners are making so much more money.
Yeah.
So much more money. And that's why ticket sales are so high. That's why it's $10 to get a hot dog, $12 to get a beer. Like, it's ridiculous.
And it's usually some of the worst beer that you've ever had ever, because like by the time you get back to your seat, it's like it is warm, and it's like a 84-ounce of glass, and you throw half of it away.
I want to go where you're going, man. What are they giving out? 84-ounce beers in Kauffman Stadium?
It's a Kansas City thing.
It is a half-gallon beer. Like they're like, I want $45 for this half-gallon beer.
They give you a milk jug full of beer just to
$45. It's a keg with a nipple on it.
Right. But let's circle this back around here, and like I want to talk about the aspect of like people say that pro athletes make too much money. My wife is one of them. They say pro athletes make too much money, but you have to realize
false.
A professional athlete's lifespan in the pros, it's about 5 years. So you have 5 years to make a lifetime generation of like cash, right?
Right. And look, I mean, none of us in our life, I mean, I don't know about you, Buck. I don't know how well you get paid, but I will never see, even in my earnings, I don't think I would ever see, $24 million my lifetime of earnings. So these guys do make a lot of money if you're going by blue collar standards, but that's not what this is. These are guys who have a specific talent. Now you figure there's a 40-man roster on 30 teams. So that's 1,200 people. Okay. If you just go by the 40-man roster, I'm not talking about all the minor leaguers, all that stuff. 1,200 people in the world right now are on a 40-man roster in Major League Baseball.
Right.
1,200 people have the talent to do what they can do. Like, it's not like everybody has the talent to do what they're doing. So you get to the point where these guys are making the money because they have that talent to do what they can do. Just like, investors are smart enough to make money on their investments and that type of stuff. It's stuff that's us average Joes can't do. People that invent stuff. Like, there are all sorts of things I'm like, damn, why didn't I think of that? Just like the guy who went out and made $375,000 by running naked around the Super Bowl stadium. Like, why didn't I think of that? You know what I mean? Like, so people...
They wouldn't have paid you that much, Combs. They'd have given you $10 and like, here, leave.
People, I'm Irish, so they would have been like, that's actually not considered, running around naked. You're just running around with your clothes off. But no, so they are, look, athletes get paid more money because of what they can do and how they do it, plus how much revenue they generate. They generate so much revenue. We pay those salaries. The same people like your wife, who I'm sure is a great lady. I haven't met her yet. I would love to meet her someday. But she says they make too much money. But you also told a story 2 weeks ago on this show about how you had never been to a pro game until you met your wife and she took you to one.
Yeah.
She contributes to that salary.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the other thing too.
We do every year. So.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. Like, whenever you think about it, like Combs brought up the people that complain about it are also the ones who are paying for it. Like, when you really break it down, I mean, think about the money that they're generating in versus how much they actually get paid, and then it makes sense, So like, if you worked your normal day-to-day job, okay, say as an accountant, okay, and you brought your CEO $5 billion a year. Okay, well, sure, then you're worth, $300 million, sure. But when you don't bring that revenue in, it's like the old saying, monkey who earns 15 banana gets 5 banana. Monkey who earns 5 banana gets 1 banana. It's just, that's how it is, man. If you want to make that much, stop crying about it and go be a pro athlete. Go do something like that. And until then, stop crying about it. That's my theory on it. It's like also like how people who get all upset about people run up to scoring games. If you're so upset about it, then stop them. Go do something about it.
If your employer came to you and said, "Hey, Buck, this is what I made this year. This is what I think you're worth. This is what other people in your business are worth. I'm going to give you $3 million a year to work for my company." You going to turn it down?
Probably not.
So why are we mad at these athletes who are getting offered this much money for not turning, like, what are they supposed to do? Say, what if Fernando Tatis is supposed to say, nah, $340 million, that's a lot of money. Just give me $5-6 million and we'll be good.
Yeah. but
I'll do it. Just cut it in half and give it to me. That's all I need.
See, actually, why? So I am a type of person that I usually accept a job about the work-life type of balance, not the salary at the end of the day, because I want to enjoy going to my job. So like I have myself turned down higher paying jobs because I like the work atmosphere that I'm currently at. So,
sure.
But
3 million
flips, what?
About 3 million.
Well, it just depends on where it's at, because I'm not living in St. Louis for $3 million. Sorry, St. Louis people. Like that's
I would
just,
do
that's
it.
Just, that's not gonna
I'd live anywhere
I'm
for
not
$3
gonna
million.
lie, man. For $3 million, I'd go live in St. Louis.
Nah,
For $3 million,
$3 million, I'll become a Cardinals fan too.
For $3 million, you can stick me in any city, any town in the USA, and I will go live there for $3 million a year.
Okay.
Done deal. Sign me up.
Hanover, Kansas.
Yes, done.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break here on the Man Hour. On the other side of the break, we have a brand new segment coming right here on the Big X Sports Radio on this Saturday edition. So, brand new segment coming up, Liar Liar, and Wyatt Williams is going to lead the way. So, we'll be right back here on the Man Hour, guys.
What is up, Man Hour Nation? We are here with our newest segment, as Buck was mentioning before the break. Little teaser there for you, but we're back here. So the new segment, we are calling it Liar Liar. Basically what it is, I'm going to give the boys, Buck and Combs, I'm going to give them 2 lies and 1 truth, and they have got to guess which one is the truth to gain a point. And the rules are the first one to get to 3 points wins for the day. We'll keep a running total, blah, 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 blah. We'll reset at the end of the month. Here we go. Everybody ready?
We are ready.
Let's do it.
Especially with that blah, blah, blah. What are we playing for? Shaved heads?
I don't know. That's between you guys, man. What's the bets on this?
I'll tell you what. If Buck wins, he can shave his head. And if I win, Wyatt shaves his head.
No. I'm the game host on this one. I'm supposed to look pretty.
We will discuss this on Twitter, so you can follow us on Twitter at @manhour_Buck, at @manhour_Combs, and at @manhour_TWW to figure out what the bet is. So
let's do a flip of a coin, Wyatt. Let's do heads I win, tails you lose.
Oh, of course, yes, because there's nothing shady about that.
Okay, perfect. Let's do it.
Get started, man.
All right. So now as we get started, here we go. So the first one here. Dennis Rodman got his nickname, Rodzilla, from being a lizard enthusiast. All right. That's your first one. Your second one. The NFL referees receive Super Bowl rings. NFL Super Bowl refs receive Super Bowl rings. Okay. Then our third one for our first segment on Liar Liar. Tommy Lasorda, legendary baseball manager for the LA Dodger, and the guy who would have killed the Philadelphia Fanatic if he could have got a hold of him. Tommy Lasorda was actually a pro fisherman after he retired from baseball. So we have Dennis Rodman, a lizard enthusiast is where he got Rodzilla. We have NFL refs get a Super Bowl ring. And we have Tommy Lasorda was a pro fisherman after he was done with baseball. Combs, we'll start with you. Take your talks, take your guesses, and then we'll move to you, Buck.
Rodman was such a weird guy, man. So I wouldn't doubt that whole, Rodzilla thing. But I think he got it because he was such a beast on the boards. He was like Godzilla. He would smash everything in his path to get to the ball. And I'm pretty sure Tommy Lasorda was just always in baseball. He was never a pro fisherman. I'm gonna go with NFL referees get a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, I was kind of leading that way as too, because Dennis Rodman wasn't really that weird until he went to the Bulls. And
I had never even heard Rodzilla though. I always heard his name was the Worm.
Yeah. I thought that as well, because like I've never heard the nickname Rodzilla before, and it seems like everybody gets a Super Bowl ring, like the water boy, the towel boy, the manager, the owner's great niece's cousin's brother. I hope it's a
generic ring,
right?
not a ring with the winning team's thing on it, because that's kind of shady.
So just to, I mean, since it does sound shady, I'm gonna go with the pro fisherman.
The pro fisherman.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Final answers. Nobody changing. Everybody locked in.
I'm locked in.
Let's go.
All right, we do have a winner. Somebody did get it correct. All right, and it is Mr. Brandon Combs. The NFL referees do get NFL rings. Here's the story on it. The little segment they wrote about it. They are not as large or impressive as the rings received by players, but all referees who officiate a Super Bowl get a serious piece of bling to commemorate the day. So there you go.
I should have definitely stuck with my gut, Combs, because like I don't know. I mean, once you're a pro fisherman, you don't change that life. Come on, man.
Yeah,
all right,
you do not change your life.
I did that earlier in the week where I changed my gut and I was wrong. So
I'm changing the rules mid-game here.
Oh God.
So you all cannot choose the same thing. That's something else I forgot to mention earlier. But what I'll do is I'll alternate each time. So Combs goes the first one, Buck will go first the second one. All right.
All right.
That sound good?
Sounds
all right. And you cannot choose the same ones.
This must be a Packers fan speaking. Change rules mid-game.
Yeah, no shit.
So here we go.
That's why he's doing the host, so he doesn't have to lose in the championship.
The first. Shut up. The first one here is Kyler Murray is actually secretly a magician. He is a magician on the side. He knows like magic tricks and stuff, right?
All
right.
6 foot tall, you got to be magic somehow.
The second one, Wayne Gretzky actually did figure skating on the side. The great one did figure skating on the side. And the third one, the Pittsburgh Pirates almost built a stadium in the middle of the river that goes through Pittsburgh. So you have Kyler Murray, a magician, you have Wayne Gretzky, the figure skater, and you have the Pittsburgh Pirates almost built a stadium in the middle of the river that goes through Pittsburgh.
Well, first things first, if you were to build a stadium in the middle of the river, that would be one of the most asinine things I think I've ever heard of, because like you'd have to have like some type of waiter system when the river gets high to float up and down, and then or if we're just floating all the time. I don't know. That seems like a too big of a engineering feat. Like at that point, all pro athletes kind of do have like some weird thing about them, like the musician or the Pokemon cards, or it's just something quite off about them. But hockey and figure skating kind of go hand to hand because you have to learn how to skate to be a good hockey player. So I'm going to go with Wayne Gretzky did do figure skating on the side.
All right, Combs.
That's the truth, I should say.
What was the first one? Not the Wayne Gretzky. What was the first one?
The first one was Kyler Murray as a magician, and then we had Wayne Gretzky as a figure skater on the side, which Buck already chose, so that one's knocked out. So your choices are Kyler Murray, a secret magician, and the Pittsburgh Pirates' new stadium that they were going to build at one time was on the river that goes through Pittsburgh.
Well, they got that big bridge back there, so I can't imagine they would have built it.
That just sounds stupid to me. Like, why would you build a stadium over the river? Or on the
I'm
river?
going to go with Kyler Murray as a magician.
All right, everybody locked in on the final answer?
Yeah.
No changes?
Nope.
And just like that, you are both incorrect.
What?
Wow.
The Pittsburgh Pirates almost built a new stadium in the middle of a river. Here's the discussion on it. Okay, more like over a river in a construction proposal by NADCO Engineering Co. Back in the 50s, the Pirates' new stadium would have been sat directly over the Monongahela River. I think that's how you say that. If built, the 70,000 seating capacity structure would have also contained 600 hotel rooms, 4,500 parking stalls, and 100 air-conditioned bowling lanes. So there you go.
Let's talk about this. Is this the most Pittsburgh thing ever? Like, if you built a stadium on the river, what happens if a flood comes and like it erodes the bank out? The stadium's going to fall into the river.
I would assume that they build it like over the river, like kind of like you do a bridge.
It's a bridge. In the picture illustration, there's like a bridge over top of it, and it's like there's a stadium, and then there's like grass on this side, and then on the other side there is like parking stalls and stuff.
Bunch of idiots, though, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
that would be so dangerous, wouldn't it?
Dude, if that collapsed, it would be bad.
Yeah.
So that right there is how we end the second one. Combs still leads 1-0 on this over top of Buck. So
guys, I just got an update on my phone, and I got so excited, and then I realized that it was just a thing. So there was an update that came across that said, could J.J. Watt sign with the Bears? And I didn't see the could. I thought it was an update saying J.J. Watt signs with the Bears, but no, it's not.
All right, so now we go on to our third one here. Combs leads 1-0, like I said earlier. And here we go. So, Combs, you will go first again on this one. And starting it off, we have Olympic gold medals are actually made of silver. Okay? Mm-hmm. Next, we have Coca-Cola and Chick-fil-A once bought an NFL team. It does not say who, but it just says they bought an NFL team. Third, the Colts and the Bengals once conjoined teams in the middle of the night. Then the two owners got into a fight, and they completely split it off. It never happened. But for a solid 4 hours, they were conjoined. Okay? So that is your three there. We have Olympic gold medals are made out of silver. Coca-Cola, Chick-fil-A almost bought an NFL team, or did, they did buy an NFL team. And the Colts and Bengals once conjoined for about 4 hours in the middle of the night. So, Combs, you first, then we'll go to you, Buck.
So, I'm pretty sure that gold medals are made out of solid gold. I'm gonna go with the Colts and Bengals one, because that one sounds so idiotic it could be true.
And I will add to that, the Colts did move from Baltimore to Indianapolis in the middle of the night. Not saying it's correct or incorrect, just saying they have had shenanigans that went on in the middle of the night.
I think it's gonna be that one. There's been some crazy trades in sports history. I know a few of them that will make you be like, really? But yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Well,
all right, Buck. So now to you, your choices are either Coca-Cola, Chick-fil-A once bought an NFL team, or Olympic gold medals are actually made out of silver.
Yeah, like, come to think of like NFL teams that have recently been for sale, the Jacksonville Jaguars come to mind, and I don't think that Khan guy was the owner or shareholder of Coca-Cola or Chick-fil-A. It just he doesn't seem like that type of person. And why would they make anything besides gold medals out of gold? So that seems kind of almost too easy to me, but go with easy, right? Easy peasy. Gold medals is not made out of gold.
All right, so we do have a winner, and it is Mike Buck. Gold medals, Olympic gold medals are actually made out of silver. So the story behind it, the 1912 Olympic Games were the last to include gold medals that were actually made of solid gold. Currently, the gold medals are 93% silver and 6% copper, leaving about 1% or 6 grams for highly prized a gold finish over top of it.
So basically gold-plated, what it comes down to. Yeah,
pretty much.
Do you guys know what the craziest trade in sports history is?
No.
Have you ever heard of it? So there are two guys in the early 1900s, or maybe it was the late 1800s, in Major League Baseball. I believe, don't quote me, but I believe they played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And they traded families. They traded their wives and kids to one another.
What? Like the wife swap, like on TLC?
Yeah, I swear to God. And you can look it up. It's a true story. So could you imagine, Buck, going home and be like, honey,
no,
we gotta talk.
No. It was great, but
you and the kids are going over to Jim's house, and Jim's wife and kids are coming here.
That seems like a bad poker night. Let's be honest. That seems like a very bad poker night.
It's been real, but sorry, you've been traded. I got
my wife is great.
Just in case.
I'm not trading her. I'm not trading her in whatsoever. Like, the only way Cindy would ever get traded if it was to own the Kansas City Chiefs. Then we have to discuss it.
All right, Wyatt, what's the next one, bud?
All right, so now we move on to the next one. It is going to be Buck. You'll start on this one. Or no, Buck just went on the last one. It'll be Combs again, correct?
No, Buck.
No, Buck. It's me. I'm lost and I'm the host. Here we go. Okay, back to it here. So, MJ once, the Michael Jordan once, spent $1 on a bet. We all know how big of a gambler he was. He once spent $1 on a bet and won $1 million. Okay? Next, we have
That's like
there has
odds.
next there has never once been a perfect March Madness bracket. Never once ever. And third, Jerry Jones was once an incredible bowler back in his day. So we have MJ, dollar bet, turned into $1 million. We have there's never been a perfect March Madness bracket. And Jerry Jones was once knocking down pins, striking left and right.
I believe the NCAA March Madness thing is a complete lie, because I think just a couple years ago there was like a 16 or 17-year-old kid that had a perfect bracket going into the Elite Eight, and I think he got all those picks wrong after that aspect. So I think that is a lie. And oil rig guys, because Jerry Jones came from the oil fields, if I'm not mistaken, kind of like a rags to riches thing, and I think he was definitely a bowler. I feel like everybody in the Midwest at some point, when you are poor or not well off, you bowl, and that's what you do. So I'm gonna go with Jerry Jones.
All right, Combs, you have MJ once spent $1 and you had $1 million win on that, and then there has never been a perfect March Madness bracket.
So there has never been a perfect March Madness bracket is the thing.
That's what you're going with?
Yeah, I'm going with that one, because there's never been anybody. If anybody ever went perfect on a March Madness bracket, I think that it's not been verified and they probably cheated.
Right.
Oh, I'm sure. Like when I was a kid, I cheated once and I told everybody I had a perfect bracket all the way through in like second or third grade. And like my dad was like, no, like I can literally see the original teams that you erased underneath it. So it was rough. But hey, creative, right? Okay, so we do have a winner. I will say that. And the winner is Brandon BC Combs. And here is the story on it.
Ding, ding.
Statistically speaking, you have a 1 in 9.2 quintillion chance. 1 in 9.2 quintillion chance of filling out a perfect bracket. 1 in here's the digits. Ready? 9, 223, 372, 036, 84854, 775, 808. That is the number. Okay? To be very, very exact, an autistic teenager from Illinois was perfect in his first 2 rounds in 2010, which was a 1 in 13 million chance feat. But alas, did not go to attain the ultimate bracket perfection, and incentive to do so got many, many dollars sweeter this year when a billionaire Warren Buffett offered $1 billion, billion with a B, to anyone who fills out a perfect March Madness bracket. So yeah, good luck with that.
There is one guy, I thought it was the last one that they did, so 2019. I want to say that there was a guy who went like the first like 49 or 50 games or something like that, and then ended up losing like the Final Four or something. But
all right, so Mr. BC Combs is now leading 2-1. So Combs, you need 1, huh?
Combs won last time too.
And I get to go first.
Yeah.
So Combs gets the first one on this one. Combs, it's yours to lose man.
Am I going to pull an Aaron Rodgers? Am I going to choke?
Jesus. Kevin King. You're going to pull a Kevin King. That would be the correct statement here. Good Lord. But anyways, so now Buck needs 2, Combs needs 1 to win it. So here we go. We are getting into our final what the for Combs to win it. Could not be final. I shouldn't say that. So here we go. Starting us off, we have Jerry Springer. Everybody knows Jerry Springer, right?
Yeah.
He once played baseball in the minor leagues. Okay. Every baseball used in the MLB is dirty. There are not any clean baseballs that start off like perfectly white, perfectly non-touched, glistening, gleaming, right? That is not a thing. And the third one is the Super Bowl logo cost the NFL to make $10 million. They paid a graphic designer $10 million to come up with their Super Bowl logo and everything every year. For whatever graphic designer that is, he is very rich. So that is your 3. We have Jerry Springer, former baseball player in the minor leagues. We have every single baseball is dirty when it starts out. And the Super Bowl logo every year costs $10 million for the NFL to pay a graphic designer to make. Combs, you're up first, buddy. I think this is probably the best one. I saved the best one for last.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, we're looking for the truth, right? Not the lie.
You're looking for the truth,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
There's 2 lies, and one of these is true.
Okay.
I'm gonna
All seem bizarre, though. All of them seem bizarre and untrue.
I'm gonna go with the baseball one. I think every baseball starts off dirty.
Okay?
Yeah, I mean, I would go with Combs on that because I know for a fact that they rub it in that Alabama mud before every game. But since I can't pick that, the Super Bowl logo for $10 million, that seems kind of a little asinine for that. Combs would do it for like a 1,000 all day, like all day long. So
Not
what
if
was
I
the
get
first?
10 million.
what was the first one again?
Jerry Springer played baseball in the minor leagues.
Jerry Springer sucks. So Super Bowl. Super Bowl is
Super
the
Bowl
truth
logo.
because I feel like they overpay for everything.
Okay, so we do have a winner of the segment, but is this the winner of the entire game's Combs?
Yeah.
Or is it the tie ball game 2-2 of Buck? With that being said, we have a winner of the night. That is BC, Mr. Combs. You win it all, but I will say Buck was correct. He knew what it was, but you were incorrect about something. So here's the story. You said an Alabama river. Here's what it is.
Alabama mud.
In order to take the slick factory sheen off and allow pitchers to get a better grip, the MLB wipes down each baseball with mud from an undisclosed location on the Delaware River. And it's been done for close to 75 years now. Can you imagine if you were just living out in Delaware, okay? And you look over, and here comes Rob Manfred with a bucket of baseballs, and he just dumps them in the mud, starts kicking them around, stomping on them, picking them up, spiking them down, taking out his frustration for how terrible of a commissioner he is.
Rob Manfred doesn't do anything good for baseball, so he's definitely not taking the balls out to Delaware. And second
Well,
of all,
that's what he is. He's taking out his frustration.
If you do see Rob Manfred on the river out in Delaware, could you please do us all a favor and just drown his ass?
Well, doesn't the Delaware River go all the way down to the Gulf?
Oh, I don't think that's the Mississippi and the Ohio you're thinking of, I think.
Okay, but the reason why I do that is because we do mud for footballs as well, and it comes from Alabama. It comes in a jar called Alabama mud. So I just figured they use the same thing. But Combs, good game, man. I'll get you next week.
Combs is really good at this, man. I got to give it to him.
He's really good at Googling, isn't he? No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But, guys, we're going to take a quick little break on the Man Hour. We're going to get into some NFL talk, some free agency. Carson Wentz to the Colts. J.J. Watt is a free agent now. And, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about Deshaun Watson as well. All that much more coming up on the Man Hour. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. If you would head over to manhourradio.com, check out the new merchandise page and, of course, the blog section as well. We'd be most inclined for that. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever or any of the past week shows as well, you can download the podcast form on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify, or you can join us live every Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. East Coast time on youtube.com/Man Hour. That is youtube.com/Man Hour. Let's go ahead and welcome the boys back to the show. Brendan Combs, Wyatt Williams. Wyatt, that was a really good segment. We featured it for the first time here, and we got to find little tweaks to work out. But hey, this is what it's all about: live, raw, uncut sports talk, guys.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and jump into some NFL talk here. One of the biggest trades that have happened so far is a top 10 quarterback by the name of Carson Wentz going to the Indianapolis Colts. He went to the Colts on a third-round pick and a second conventional round pick, meaning if he plays more than 70% of the games this next season, that second-round pick will become a first-round pick. So technically, they got a first and a third-round pick for a top 10 quarterback in Carson Wentz to the Indianapolis Colts. Combs, I know you are already shaking your head over there. I can feel the rage coming through the table and like beating through my soul.
Just stop calling him
What are
a
your
top
thoughts on
10
this?
quarterback.
Facts are facts, man.
If he was a top 10 quarterback, you would have got more than a conditional second round and a third round pick for him Just like you're getting for that they got for Matt Stafford, and just like they're going to get for Deshaun Watson. This guy is not a top 10 quarterback. He is a reclamation project. That is exactly what he is, and the Colts got exactly what they paid for. Now, that being said, I think it's a great fit for Carson Wentz. I think possibly going to the Colts could return Carson Wentz to his MVP form for two reasons. One, he's got a much better offensive line than he's used to working with in Philly. He's got a better run game than he's used to working with in Philly. And he's going to have the weapons. They're going to shell out. Carson Wentz is not going to be their only move. They're going to build around him. They're going to get him the weapons that he needs to go ahead and win.
And he'll have a defense.
And a defense. So
an offensive line to protect him.
Yeah. The Colts
Wait, so Combs, go. Just a question here, okay? I'll let you continue on in just a second. I just had a question real quick. Is an MVP a top 10 quarterback? If you are a MVP quarterback, wouldn't you be considered a top 10 quarterback? Wouldn't you be considered a top 3 quarterback if you were an MVP candidate?
If you're in the MVP discussion at the end of next year, then yes, you'll be a top 10 quarterback heading into the 2022 season.
But you just said he has a chance to be an MVP candidate.
2021 season, yes, but he's not a top 10 quarterback right now. You idiot.
Well, we're not saying right now. We're saying when he's healthy and has weapons, he's a top 10 quarterback.
He just said a top 10 quarterback. You've been saying all week that he's a top 10 quarterback. He's
We're
not a top 10 quarterback
Combs.
right now.
We're foreshadowing Combs. We know what he's going to do when he gets there. Like you said,
you are.
Like
it's
you
9
said,
a.m., you're 18, and you're drunk.
Well, that would be illegal. First off, so no. Second off, he's gonna, like you said, he's gonna have the offensive line. He's gonna have protection. He is literally going to have the best and the youngest offensive line in all of the NFL. He's going to have a top 5, I would say top 3 defense in the league. He's going to have weapons spread across the board. T.Y. Hilton is getting older, but T.Y. Hilton is still a good receiver. He struggled a little bit at the beginning of the season.
How sure are you that he is going to come in, and since you're so sure that he's a top 10 quarterback, how sure are you that he is going to be so last year they were a playoff team. How sure are you that he at least wins one playoff game with the Colts?
I am. Gosh,
are you shave your head question. Sure?
Well, I'm never shave my head sure. That's not happening.
Why?
Everybody knows
he's a top 10 quarterback.
Well,
he's a top 10 quarterback.
But what if he gets hurt?
How about this?
I can't help
if he gets hurt, then the bet is null and void. How about that? He has to play. I'll give you the same conditional pick thing. He has to play 70% of the games next year, get to the playoffs, and win a playoff game.
Combs, you got to understand, man. You've tried this several times. I am never shaving my head. My mom would kill me. My girlfriend would kill me if I shaved my head.
You attempt to grow a beard.
That's a deal. I'll do that. That's done deal. I'll absolutely do that.
I mean, because we know you can't grow a beard, so
we will give you. How's he gonna grow facial hair?
We will give you a month to grow the beard. If the beard doesn't come in to our standards, you have to shave your head. How about that?
No, whoa, no. Nothing on top of my head is getting shaved.
If your face doesn't look like Buck after 1 month, you've got to shave your head.
No, nobody in my family can grow a beard, man. I don't know what it is. My dad can't. My uncles can't. My grandpa can't.
It is the selective growth syndrome that I have on top of my head, huh?
That's what it is. Buck can't grow hair on top of his head. I can't grow hair on my face. It's just that simple.
Buck just shaves it off his head and glues it onto his face.
Exactly.
Yeah. And my back, and my lower back.
All right. So
Jesus.
back
on track here.
I can't believe that you guys think that Carson Wentz is a top 10 quarterback.
You just said it yourself. You said he's a possible MVP candidate.
I said he's got a chance to return back to his MVP form. Yes.
So you are saying by simply changing teams from the Eagles to the Colts, he has a chance of becoming an MVP caliber.
Yeah, because you've got the weapons to be there. I think that if Mitch Trubisky went to the Colts, I think Mitch Trubisky would be a better quarterback than he was with the Bears.
I think even if you are consideration, just like even considering them a MVP for next year, has to be at least a top 12 quarterback. Can you agree? Can you agree with that?
I would say.
Hold on.
Right now, heading into this season, I believe he's a top 15 quarterback.
Okay.
So he's got to move up 5 spots. And he just changed teams to a team with better weapons, better offensive line, better defense.
Came off of a year where he threw 14 touchdowns or 16 touchdowns and 14 interceptions, and was replaced by Jalen Hurts halfway through the season. So yes, he's got a lot to prove heading into this season. Why is that so hard for you to fathom?
No, I'm saying we're asking what do you have him right now? Like as a quarterback before he got traded, what is he? Is he a top 20, top 15?
I said top 15.
Yeah, so he's got to move 5 spots, that's it? And he got better weapons, better offensive line, and a better defense, and a better head coach?
Yes, so if he's really as good as you guys say he does, that's no problem. But if he's not as good
as no problem.
Okay. All right.
So let's just so right here on February 20th, 2021 at 9:45 in the morning here, what is considered a top 10 quarterback? Are we going off of stats? Are we going off of ESPN rankings? How are we going to determine what a top 10 quarterback is moving forward?
I mean, I think you can pretty much just pick it out what's a top 10 quarterback. I mean,
I go by touchdown to interception ratio. I go by eye test. I go by,
Let's do this. We'll factor in stats. We'll factor in touchdown to interception ratio would do that. We'll factor in rankings. We'll factor in stats. And at the very end, we'll all make our own based opinions of where we think they are. Or how about this? On this day of 2022, we will get a top 10 quarterbacks list and see where we rank them. How about that? That's where our opinion will fall.
So we'll
still go off of facts and stats. We'll still go off the stats. We'll still go off the facts, and we'll still go off of record and all that stuff.
Look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like I'll admit when I'm wrong. I have no problem.
You're gonna be wrong, Combs.
Just the reason that I asked that is because there are sometimes when a quarterback's stats fall into the top 10 or fall out of the top 10, but your eyes tell you that guy is actually.
I think
really
Derek
good
Carr is the exact prime example of that.
Derek Carr's had pretty good stats the last few years, though. But
not as good. I think Derek Carr's stats don't represent what quarterback he is, though. His stats don't show how good he actually is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very underrated.
Yeah. I mean, and same with Jameson, right? I mean, Jameis
Winston is a very underrated quarterback. You could laugh all you want. You're sitting here telling me that a guy who just went 16 and 14 touchdown to interception ratio is garbage or is a top 10 quarterback. But you're telling me a kid who threw for 5,000 yards and 33 touchdowns just 2 years ago is garbage? Give me a break.
Well, I mean, only time will tell. We will see if Winston is the starting quarterback in New Orleans in roughly 3 or 4 months here. But let's talk about one of the best top quarterbacks in the NFL right now, Deshaun Watson. He has said that he wants to be traded from the Houston Texans. I mean, obviously that has been all over our Man Hour station here for 2-3 weeks, guys. Right? I feel like we have talked about this every day for ad nauseum now. But now I want to bring something up here. The Carolina Panthers, for some reason, every free agent quarterback that is out there is being linked to Carolina somehow, some way. But just in the last 24 hours, the Carolina Panthers have cleared out $28.5 million of cap space. Wyatt, are they making room for Deshaun Watson right now over there?
Honestly, that's such a hard decision to make. I mean, I could see it happening. I could absolutely see them making room for that. But at the same time, I know how good Teddy is. I know how good Teddy's been. So it wouldn't make sense to me to ship Teddy out of town after you just gave him that huge deal. He played so well with the Saints. He didn't play bad this year. He just, he didn't have CMC most of the year. His wide receivers weren't very dependable. He had Robbie Anderson and he has DJ Moore, who are great wide receivers, but, they're not consistent. They have great games and then they fall off, it seems like. And he didn't really have his normal tight end target that the Carolina Panthers love to see in Greg Olsen, a guy who was with them forever. They're missing Luke Kuechly on defense, a huge piece. So I don't see why they would move on, but I would also say it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, at the same time, so I'm kind of taking the middle road on that, but I'll also say yes, because there are so many rumors out there right now that the Carolina Panthers are moving on from Teddy Bridgewater that you're always going to have your crazy rumors that some random dude came up with, right? But if you have this many that are the same thing, something's got to be a little credible. So, I mean, I could see them at least making a run at it. I wouldn't be surprised. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to make a run at Deshaun Watson. But the biggest problem I see, unless if they're willing to give up, not willing, but unless if they're going to give up Teddy Bridgewater, they're, that they don't have the draft capital, I don't think right now to give up that at the moment. And I don't think that the Texans want Teddy Bridgewater, because we haven't even seen it. We've all seen the rumors about Teddy Bridgewater getting out of town, Teddy Bridgewater leaving for this, for that, whatever it may be. But we've not yet seen a rumor that's like, oh, the Texans have interest in Teddy Bridgewater and the Carolina Panthers have interest in Deshaun Watson. It's just been everybody has interest in Deshaun Watson. So,
well, let me pause you right there. The Houston Texans have said that they aren't moving on from Watson. Watson is staying put in Houston. But just to add to your point there, Teddy Bridgewater has unfollowed the Panthers on Twitter and Instagram. Combs, floor is yours.
And look, if I'm the Panthers, yes, I'm considering. I get what you're saying. He has been good. I like Teddy Bridgewater. I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. However, he's had some raw deals. He's had some injury problems. There have been some stuff that goes on. So why wouldn't you look at trading for Deshaun Watson and get rid of Teddy Bridgewater? I would do that move in a heartbeat. I just don't know if that's the route that the Texans want to go. Are you going to get Teddy Bridgewater plus a couple? You've got to maximize your value here, and I think to maximize your value, you're looking at either the Jets or the Dolphins, or maybe even the Cowboys, because maybe you can get Dak Prescott out of the deal. So those I think are the only three teams that really have a shot at Deshaun Watson.
One of the biggest rumors that I heard so far this week was it was a trade between Houston Texans and the Carolina Panthers. It was Watson for Christian McCaffrey and 3 first-round picks to 21, 22, and 23 picks. Combs, you said you wouldn't do it. Why would you?
If I was the Texans, yes. If I was the Texans and I was going to get 3 first-rounders and CMC, heck yeah, send him right now, because if I get those 3 first-round picks, they have the 6th, 7th, or 8th pick somewhere in there, and at that time, Justin Fields is going to be on the board. At that time, we're going to see possibly, even a guy like Zach Wilson could fall a little bit. If that's the case, you could get him, or you could turn and use 2 of your picks to trade with Atlanta. Give up 2 first-round picks for Zach Wilson. I wouldn't even be against that. And then when you look at that, they'd have Zach Wilson at quarterback. You'd have CMC at running back. You could trade away David Johnson and Duke Johnson as well to maybe get a wide receiver weapon of some kind for a team that needs running back core. So I don't think that's a bad idea. I think it gives them a lot more trade capital and gives them room to grow as a team in the future.
Or you can trade David Johnson, a 2nd-round pick and a 3rd-round pick to Atlanta for Matt Ryan and still keep your number 8 overall pick and better your receiving core.
Yeah, but Matt's old. That's the problem. Matt is older.
Right.
You'll only have Matt for 3 or 4 more years.
But you're still going to have 2 more first-round draft picks over the next 2 to 3 years that you're getting from Carolina. You can utilize that for a quarterback next year to sit behind Matt Ryan.
But what if, here's, absolutely they could sit behind and wait.
There's a lot of what ifs with quarterbacks this year. There's a lot of what ifs with the quarterbacks this year.
I know that, but I have a lot of confidence in Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson really does have the potential to be the best quarterback in this draft. And here's the problem. The Bears know this single-handedly. When you pass on a quarterback, there's no necessarily saying that next year there's going to be a good quarterback on the board. A lot of teams can say that. The Jacksonville Jaguars, if you've got a guy now, who is going to be a good quarterback, why wait? Use that draft capital, get your quarterback of the future. If they got Zach Wilson, their quarterback position solved.
Yeah, at that point, then the Falcons probably don't make that trade and they go after Zach Wilson anyway.
I don't think that's wrong either. I think the Falcons really like him a lot and they could sit there absolutely.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and start to wrap up the show here. So I'm going to ask you a quick little question here. Give me true or false here. The only team that J.J. Watt plays for next year is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Combs, true or false?
False.
Wyatt?
False.
Give me a team where he plays for, Combs.
The Chiefs.
Wyatt?
Packers.
That's a homer pick right there, 100%. All right, guys, so that is going to be it for the Man Hour. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, head over to manhourradio.com. Click on the podcast so you can listen to the podcast form, or you can download us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, or Spotify as well. You can catch us live every Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. East Coast time at youtube.com/. Facebook.com/Man Hour. Combs, send us out.
Man Hour Nation, rise up.